We can't hear you, Phil.
Phil, I don't think you're unmuted.
Do it again.
Okay.
All right. Well, I'll start over from the top. Thank you. All right. Nobody heard anything I said? No. All righty. All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Borough of Crafton Council meeting for November 23rd, 2020. We all have the call to order and the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and with liberty and justice for all. We may proceed to the roll call, please.
Mr. Ayla.
Here.
Mr. Amendola.
He's here.
Mr. Amendola.
Oh, his hand is raised.
He's present.
Here. I'm
Okay.
here.
Thank you. Mr. Kraus.
Here.
Mr. Crown. Mr. Lavasser.
Here.
Ms. Perry.
Here.
Mr. Saba.
Here.
Mayor Bloom.
Here.
Solicitor, Mr. Corbin.
Not present.
No?
In his stead
We have-
is Jennifer Malik from his office.
Okay.
I'm here, Russ.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Mitchum's not here. I am here. Mr. Sample,
I'm present.
and I believe Mr. Healy, bond counsel, is also on, Mr. President.
Thank you.
You do have a quorum.
Thank you. All right, we'll proceed to the approval of the bills list for November 23rd, 2020.
So
So
moved.
moved. Oops. Second.
Thank you. Any comments, questions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All that oppose? None that oppose? Passage of the bills list. Moving forward to the approval of the minutes for November 9th, 2020.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
All that oppose? None that oppose approval of the minutes. Thank you. Acknowledgement of the receipt of written reports for September 20th, 20, including the Financial Act 511, trash collection, property tax collection, police, engineer, EMS, code enforcement, building inspection, library, and managers' reports. All right. Any questions about the reports received?
Did we get all of those reports? I was just going through them and I didn't get through all of them.
I believe we got them all. We
Okay.
don't. I know the fire department's been, they told us that they're catching up or
They're what?
working through them at their pace.
Okay.
All righty.
Thanks.
All right. Moving forward to citizen comments. Please note that all public comments will be heard at the beginning of the meeting due to the online meeting format. At this time, citizens may address the Borough Council. Speakers will be permitted to speak for a maximum of 3 minutes. Please state your name and physical address for the record.
So for all the attendees, if there's an option to raise your hand, if anybody that's in attendance would like to raise their hand to speak, this is the time. Mr. President, at this time, none of the attendees have their hands up.
Thank you. Move forward to the president's report. We have a full agenda. As we've had discussion over the past couple of meetings on many of these items, I'm going to refrain from extensive discussion unless a council member objection raises concern. If not, we're going to proceed to the through the motions. So we'll move forward to the mayor's report.
Just a question that was called into me today. The new street lights that are being installed, are they strictly going to be on the main thoroughfares or are they going to be on all streets?
They're slated first for all the main thoroughfares, and then we have the opportunity to purchase another 100 and pick locations for those as well.
Okay, maybe you could post me in a week or so as to exactly what streets are going to be affected by these new lights.
Okay. Yep. We I know we haven't picked them out yet, so we can sit down together and take a look.
But they have started putting them in. So
Yes.
there's been some selection.
Yeah, for the first 100 for the 2020 program, but for 2021, we haven't picked those locations. And I think Manager McKibben could speak to the main arteries that he chose.
Yeah, the 2020 program is being implemented right now. As the president spoke, has stated, the 2020 program has not been put forth. We have till June of 2021 to do that. But the main thoroughfares throughout the borough have been slated for 2020 implementation.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mayor. Anything else? Oh, okay. The engineer is not present. He attends the first meeting of the month. Any item that he'd like us to address will be addressed later down the agenda. I'll move forward to the solicitor's report. Jennifer Malik is here representing the Babs County.
The solicitor's office has nothing to report.
Thank you. All right, manager's report.
Very brief, Mr. President. The pool is being filled now. That the liner has been put in, it's being filled, and it'll be buttoned up for the winter. So that's good news. We have Mr. Healy here as bond counsel, and I'll allow him to comment on things as they go on later. And I think most of my other comments are going to be reserved for the numerous motions that are on the table. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next. All right, so let the big business begin. Motion to accept the GROW Program Grant Award number 2020 01-009 from Alcosan in the amount of $2,647,400 for the Crafton Boulevard Storm Sewer Separation Project. Total estimated cost is $3,731,352.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any discussions?
If you, would you like to discuss?
No, I just wanted to make sure that you asked.
No, at the beginning of the meeting, I said that because we discussed all these, I was just going to move
Okay.
to
All right, I
but
guess I did not understand. Excuse me.
No, it's
Never
all right. If
mind.
you'd like, no, I just, since we got a full slate here.
Okay.
All right. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All that oppose? All right, none that opposed. Thank you. Motion passes. Motion to accept the GROW Program Grant Award number 2020 01-012 from Alcosan in the amount of $2,072,731.89 for the Woodlawn and Fountain Street Sewer Separation Project. Total estimated cost is $2,438,508.10. Some pretty big numbers there. So
moved.
Second.
all right, Coletta, do you have any comment?
Nope.
No. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes.
Mr. President,
Motion,
just real quick, looks like Fred has his hand up, but it's been up
Oh.
for a while, so I don't know if there's
yeah,
something.
I don't know if that's a. Fred,
'Cause it looks like
Fred?
the camera's-
Yes.
did you?
Yeah, I've had my hand up. I had up for quite some time.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. Two points. It is on record that the fire department did not submit a report for this month, so that's on record. And I don't agree with skipping over these motions so fast without discussion. So I would take exception to that. You
Okay,
asked. for-
we can,
Okay, thank
if
you.
there's,
That's
if
all I
there's an
have.
item that you'd like to discuss, just, no problem. I know we've discussed these at the beginning of the months, so, but no problem. We'll,
Okay,
when we get to one that you want to discuss, just say so. All right, thank you. Motion to enter into a police service agreement with Thornburg Borough where then police services will be supplied by Crafton Borough to Thornburg Borough for years 2021, 2022, and 2023 at a price of $101,261.40 with an option year in 2024 at a price of $104,299.
So moved.
Second,
$104,299 for the record. And that's correct.
$104,299. Okay.
yes. Yes, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
The way it is written here, it seems like 2021, 22, 23, or the price for all of those is 101,261, or is that per year?
Per year.
Per year.
Okay, well, it probably should say that.
Manager McKibben.
For years 2021, 22, 28 at a price of per year. Okay, but it is per year. Yes, sir.
Yep.
Aye.
So as the motioner, I motion to amend to the price of $1,261.40 per year.
All right.
And I think-
And does the
and I think our
seconder agree?
yes.
All right. Good catch, Fred. Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right,
Looks like Mike has his hand up too.
Mike. Mike, do you wish to speak?
King.
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, I'm good. That was a mistake, I guess.
Okay. All right. If there is any discussion on this matter, I'm gonna move the vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All that oppose? None that oppose. Motion passes. Motion to approve resolution 2020-19 authorizing execution of a 5-year cable franchise agreement between Crafton Borough and Verizon Pennsylvania LLC.
So moved.
Second.
Hearing no call for discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, all that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Thank you. Motion to approve payment of pay application request number 4, final from Roto-Rooter Services Company in the amount of $10,758.25 for sewer excavation repair work completed in 2020 for the 2019 Crafton Borough O&M sewer repairs, Contract A, excavation repairs, as recommended by Gateway Engineers Incorporated.
So
So moved.
moved. Second.
Second.
All right, hearing no calls for discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. All right. Now we're down to motion to approve payment of application number 1 from Sports and Recreation Associates LLC in the amount of $133,983 for work completed for the Crafton Borough 2020 Park Improvements Project as recommended by Gateway Engineers.
So
So
moved.
moved. Second.
Hearing no call for discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? None that oppose, motion passes. All right. Motion to approve payment application number 1 from Andy's Pool Shop Incorporated in the amount of $53,437.50 for work completed for the Borough, for Crafton Borough 2020 Pool Liner Project as recommended by Gateway Engineers.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Hearing no calls for discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Right, none opposed, motion passes. Motion to approve the following 8 payment applications from M&B Services LLC for work completed on the Green Light Go traffic signal replacement project as recommended by Gateway Engineers. And Russ, if I skip something, misstate something, catch me, okay?
I would petition the chair to read the consolidated number in the bottom line instead of reading each line item out.
All right, I'll do that. For a total of $599,830.14.
And I'm sorry if I may interject just for 1 second, Mr. President. The last 3 motions are covered either substantially or totally by grant amounts. These are going to be reimbursed back to the borough. These are just payments that we have to make up front to apply for the reimbursement.
So just real quick, Russ, so that's the last 3, the sports and recreation, the pool, as well as the Green Light Go, correct?
Sports and recreation, 100%, pool, 100%, 85% on the M&B.
Thank you.
Okay. Before we take any more questions, just give me have a.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All right, any additional comments, questions? All right, hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Next page. All right, motion to approve payment application number 2 from Youngblood Paving Incorporated in the amount of $42,046.33 for the 2020 road paving project as recommended by KLH and Engineering Incorporated.
So moved.
Second.
Russ, just quick question on this item. Is that just to finish up the 2020 road program?
That is the finish amount. That is correct.
All right, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? All right, hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Motion to approve reimbursement of $5,898.78 of deduct meter refunds from the sewer fund as per the Alcoasand meter reading report.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All that oppose? None that oppose? Motion passes. A motion to approve a work authorization with Gateway Engineers for an amount not to exceed $20,000 for the design and document preparation for Johnson North Emily Sewer Repair Project.
So moved.
We hear a second.
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 All right. Any questions? Just to
Could
let
we get-
council, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to ask for a little clarification on this one. I'm not sure that
Yeah,
it's been
this is,
fully discussed before.
yeah, this is the rework, or we're having to figure out a reroute for the line that collapsed over there. We initially were going to do a pipelining project, but there was a partial collapse of the line, and now they have to figure out how they're going to reroute it, and it's going to require extensive working with the residents in that area, and the engineers need to work authorization to figure it all out.
Okay, yeah, I do recall our speaking about that issue earlier. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yep, you're welcome. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose? None that oppose, motion passes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1664 that amends chapter 90, article 2 of the Crafton Borough Code of Ordinances, commonly referred to as the Property Maintenance Code, to adopt the 2018 edition of the International Property Maintenance Code.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? I'll just ask a real quick question. So as soon as we adopt this, it's in effect?
I believe so, yes, Mr. President.
All right, thank you. Any other questions from council? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1665 that adopts the updated Pennsylvania Construction Code and repeals all ordinances in conflict with same.
So moved.
Second.
Questions? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All that oppose? None that oppose, motion passes. All right. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1668 that permits connection of roof leaders or downspouts to the storm or combined sewer system when the proper permit is acquired by the homeowner.
Mr. President, I think you skipped.
You skipped quite a few, Mr.
Yeah.
President.
Did I?
Yep.
Yes, beginning with motion to adopt.
Sorry,
ordinance
I'm sorry. Thank you.
1666.
Urban chickens.
Urban chickens. Sorry, I'll go back up there. Thank you. I was looking at my eye skip. Sorry. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1666 that permits the keeping of urban chickens within the R2 zoning district of the borough.
So moved.
Seconded.
Any questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose?
Aye.
You oppose? Or no?
Yeah.
Okay, you oppose. Okay. Motion passes. All right. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1667 that amends the Crafton Code of Ordinances to include a chapter prohibiting discrimination within the borough and establishing an equal opportunity board.
So moved.
Second.
All right. Comments, questions?
Actually, Mr. President, I have two items.
Okay.
First, I just want to say thank you to everybody that helped and was involved in getting this on the table tonight to vote on. I know this is a big piece, especially for our community, that, Crafton represents a community that's welcoming to all. And I really appreciate all the hard work and everybody, and also co-chair in this, Ed, as an openly gay man on council, this is very important, making a statement that, Crafton's a community in which all are welcome regardless of your background. And second point, I'm asking if we can have a roll call vote on this.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Sava. I appreciate that. If we may have a roll call vote, all in favor?
Well, we're going to call by roll, right? So,
Right.
okay.
Of
So
all in favor. Right.
Right.
I'm sorry, do you want a roll call vote or?
Right, yes.
Okay. Mr. Ayla,
Yes.
Mr. Amendola,
Yes.
Mr. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Crown,
Yes.
Mr. Lavasser,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
yes,
and Mr. Saba.
Yes.
That's 7-0, Mr. President.
Thank you, Manager McKibben. And congratulations. This is a good piece of work here. And which number is the Borough of Crafton in passing ordinance alike?
Believe 62nd or 63rd. Last week, Etna Borough passed their non-discrimination ordinance as well. And I know our solicitor helped quite a bit. So, and I forgot to say special thank you to Ms. Perry for kicking this off the end of last year.
you're welcome.
Thank you all.
62nd. Sorry, I just got a message from the audience. We're the 62nd municipality in the state of Pennsylvania to adopt an ordinance.
That is excellent. Thank you. All right. Now, I think we can move forward to motion 16, motion to adopt ordinance number 1668 that permits connection of roof leaders or downspouts to the storm or combined sewer system when the proper permit is acquired by the homeowner.
So moved.
Second.
All right, any questions? I think I'll just make a comment here. Hopefully this provides some clarification for the code enforcement officer and for homeowners new and alike. All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
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 All that oppose? Hearing none that oppose, motion passes. Motion to adopt ordinance number 1669, authorizing the incurring of non-electoral debt for the purpose of providing funds for certain capital projects and improvements by the issuance of general obligation bonds in one or more series in the aggregate principal amount not to exceed $9,500,000.
so moved.
Second.
Any questions, comments?
So the one clarification that I'd like to make, it's my understanding that this is a motion not to exceed and that no final decisions have yet been made about the amount.
Correct.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
this is definitely a not to exceed amount. And I believe our bond attorney may speak greater length to the purpose of this. Pat, would you like to take a moment to address council?
Yeah, thank you, Pat Healy, with Bruce Dyson Associates. The ordinance is a not to exceed dollar figure. Typically, it's, a fair amount larger than what you end up issuing in the actual principal amount of bonds at the end of the day. In large part because under the state law that governs issuance of debt for municipalities in Pennsylvania, you have to set an outside limit, and in structuring your bond deal with your underwriter, Huntington Capital Markets, you got to leave cushion in there to allow them to structure the maturities, which have principal maturing every year, so they get the best overall structure given the market and the borough's needs. The actual dollar figure at the end of the day, obviously, is your decision, based on what you want to do and the capital projects you have. And how much you need to finance or want to finance for now or the next couple of years. I've talked with the president and the borough manager and council solicitor about this in general, broad brushstrokes. So I have a little bit of understanding. The overall ordinance pledges the borough's full faith, credit, and taxing power to repay the bonds, which is extremely well, it's done by all governmental entities other than water and sewer authorities, where they're pledging their water and sewer revenues. It authorizes the execution of a bond purchase agreement. So this is really by the president and the manager. The underwriter will do the consulting with you folks when they get close to pricing the deal, which means sizing how much you're going to borrow and then the interest rates, they currently have that projected to be sometime in the beginning of January. So we have a bit of time. This ordinance is, once adopted, is the last official action that council needs to take in order to issue the bonds. It's called a parameters ordinance or not to exceed ordinance, but it has everything in it that is required by the state law, which is the Unit Debt Act. Basically authorizing the president, the manager, or vice president, if he's not around, and the board secretary to execute all the documents necessary to issue the bonds when we get to that point, which would be in the middle of January. It's right now scheduled to close sometime at the end of January, beginning of February, according to the underwriter's schedule. I don't imagine that's going to shift a whole lot, but the point being, you have some time, obviously. I'd be happy to entertain any questions you may have. I'm the quarterback through this process from the documentation, state law, transaction. I'll pretty much draft everything. And that's it.
Thank you, Mr. Healy. Mr. Crown, your hand is raised. I don't know if that's from the previous question. Does anybody have any questions for the bond attorney? All right. Hearing no questions, all in favor?
How about if we have
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to suggest on something like this, we might do a roll call vote.
All right.
Actually, per the ordinance, we have to do a roll call vote. I wanted to interject.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, roll call vote.
Mr. Ayla,
Yes.
Mr. Amendola,
No.
Mr. Kraus,
Yes.
Mr. Crown,
Yes.
Mr. Lavasser,
Yes.
Ms. Perry,
Yes.
Mr. Saba.
Yes.
Motion carries 6-1, Mr. President.
Thank you, Manager McKibben.
You don't need
Thank
me
you.
anymore? I'm good to
Pardon me?
go? I'm good to go?
Yeah, is there anything else that you need to address with council?
No, that was it. You have the signature pages. We can circle back later with that.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Healy. We'll be in
Thank you.
touch. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Going to proceed down the list. Motion to advertise a notice of a proposed passing of the 2021 tax ordinances at the December 14th, 2020 meeting of council, and the availability to inspect the proposed 2021 budget on Crafton Borough's website, craftonborough.com/budget.
So moved.
Here a second.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, I just wanted to,
Yes. I have a question.
Mr. Saba and then Mr. Amendola.
so I just wanted to, for some clarification, because I know normally we have the budget within the Borough building as well as the library, why it's 100% online this year, and why that decision was made. So just that way the public knows.
I can answer that if you don't mind. The library, I believe, will be closed. The Borough building will be closed. We have a huge COVID outbreak right now, and I'm sorry, I can't allow my staff or any staff members to be subject to a COVID infection when it can be easily available, or we can print it for them and bring it down to them at the outside the building. But allowing somebody in the building right now with not knowing their status in the COVID environment would not be correct thing to do.
Thank you.
I believe council concurs. I mean, the only other thing that we could do is print it out and laminate and put it there, but we don't want people congregating. So like the manager said, if you require a copy of the budget, they're willing to print it and leave it downstairs for you to pick up. All right.
Should that be should that be added to the motion? Since that's what's going to be advertised?
Solicitor Malik,
I'm sorry, should what be added to the motion?
do we need to amend the motion to incorporate that, if they call, that the office will print it out?
We can add that into the actual advertisement. You can amend the motion. I would recommend that.
You would recommend that we do or not?
That you do amend the motion to include that it can be printed out and made available that way.
Okay. Does the,
That'll be reflected in the advertisement.
Can I just ask the chair for unanimous consent to let the manager and solicitor make the changes in the ordinance
yeah, but there was
with the permission of the seconder and the mover?
Who,
yeah, this
Who-
doesn't
who
work that way.
moved?
We had them,
I
right.
believe Mr. Saba moved and Ms. Perry seconded.
That is correct.
okay,
Do you both consent?
I do, but the motioner has to do it first.
Mr. Saba, you consent?
Sorry, I was muted. Yes, I consent. My apologies.
Okay. And Ms. Perry, you consent?
Yes.
All right. Update the same, please. All right. Any other questions? Mr. Amendola had a question. I don't want to forget that. Mr. Amendola.
Yeah, is this where you're gonna propose raising taxes for the debt that you just voted on
There's.
with this ordinance?
Yes, the answer is
Yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So you're raising taxes, you plan to raise taxes?
If you
pay
come to
for
our
this
budget meetings,
debt.
you would learn that, yes.
Yeah,
I
think
was
we
sick at the
discussed
last
this at
budget meeting. If it's any of your business. Do you hear me,
Pardon me?
Brad?
All right. So,
Point of order.
right. So, yes,
So
there
my
will
question
be.
is this. My question is this the ordinance you're preparing to present by December 14th, a proposal to raise taxes to pay for this debt that you've just incurred? For
No,
how many years is that debt, by the way?
right. So to be clear, that actually raising to actually address your question. So as we discussed in our budget meetings, the concept of raising the taxes earlier in the decade rather later in the decade is actually not because of the debt of this debt. Is actually because of the contracts that we've agreed to and to cover the cost of inflation. So we're actually trying to offset any kind of significant rate hikes throughout the decade. So that is actually a proactive measure of council. And any other questions, Mr. Amendola?
Well, so the answer to my question is yes, by December 14th, you're going to propose a tax raise for the citizens of the community of Crafton.
Yes.
Is that correct?
That is,
Okay,
that is correct.
Okay. And just another quick question. How long is this debt spread out? How many years?
Point of order. We're getting off topic from the motion.
No, I have a
It hasn't
question.
been
It's
decided.
not off topic. It's an important question. I'd like to know the answer.
No, so the current structure that council has consented to is a 30-year maturity.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other questions from council?
Yes, Mr. President.
Yes.
So just 2 points. One, this is a motion to advertise. This is not actually voting on a tax increase. And two, I believe all the questions that Mr. Amendola had raised, everything is on recording as we had discussed this in length on this past Wednesday at our last budget meeting. So any information that is not covered or anybody has any questions, they are able to access that video or if there are minutes as to that meeting. And everything's pretty much covered very extensively. So any questions that the public would have is available.
All right. Thank you,
Mr. Saba?
Mr. Saba.
Mr. Saba?
All All right. Yeah, you can ask me you can address me and then ask your question.
Mr. President,
Yes, Mr. Amendola.
just for the record, I was sick the last budget meeting that was held. And so I will review the tape. So you're telling me that there was actual discussion about raising taxes at the budget meeting?
Yeah, yes, yep, yeah, we had an extensive
Okay,
conversation.
I'll
We
look
had-
at it. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's okay, and we were concerned for
Okay.
you, and we're happy
So,
that you're
Thank you.
healthy and happy
I
that
was
that
sick.
you're
I
here.
couldn't make it.
No, we were all concerned and happy that you're here. So.
We have a motion, Mr. President, to
Yes.
vote on.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 All that oppose?
No,
All right. One opposed. Motion passes. Thank you. All right. All right. It's with great pleasure I get to make the next motion. Motion to void the Borough of Crafton's invoice to the Crafton Volunteer Fire Department dated October 27, 2020 in the amount of $32,085.59 for the resurfacing, striping, maintenance of the Port Authority parking lot, and return the Crafton Volunteer Fire Department's check number 2318 for the payment of the same.
So moved.
Seconded.
Mr. Amendola, I know this has been a item that you've been tracking. Do you have any comments?
oh yeah, why are we doing that? Why are we returning the check? It seems to me the facts are there was an agreement signed years ago. And the fire department was supposed to split the cost of resurfacing, striping, and maintenance of the Port Authority lot, or the fire department's lot. And the borough agreed last meeting to send the fire department an invoice for the amount of $32,085.59. It
Right.
looks as though, if I'm reading this correctly, the fire department sent a check to the borough to pay that. Is that correct?
That is correct, sir.
Okay, so why are we giving it back to them?
Well, so as we discussed in as we discussed in our executive session, that what we would do as a council would send the invoice, see if the fire department would honor the agreement. And if they did, that we would go ahead and void the invoice. And this is, and I drafted a letter, and I'll read to you what I wrote, what I'm writing, the volunteer membership. Council understands that calendar year 2020 has been unprecedented due to the COVID-19 pandemic and has created significant hurdles for many nonprofit volunteer organizations this year in terms of fundraising and normal revenue generation activities, including the renting of your organization's facilities. Our community is proud of our first responders, and we are thankful to have such a strong working relationship with the Crafton Volunteer Fire Department. On behalf of Crafton Council, please extend our thanks and gratitude to the Crafton Volunteer Fire Department membership. We wish everyone a happy and safe holiday season. And this is with the understanding that we would be canceling this debt to them, that we have between they and us, because we do understand this has been a very challenging year for the department and their fundraising activities. And we have been a recipient of CARES funds through the federal government. So it is only right for this community and this council to extend them the same support that we were extended from federal and state agencies.
Okay, just to be absolutely clear, I don't have any problems with the fire department. I love the fire department. I respect the fire department and support the fire department 100%. It's the leadership that I have a problem with.
Right.
It's,
Well, this
it's
check was not written by.
It's excuse me. It's malfeasance because you guys were aware that this agreement was on the books and you just did nothing. You just ignored it and let it go through and maybe thought nobody was going to pick it up. But someone's got to kind of watch out for the citizens' tax money. And I guess that's me.
Well,
So, okay, that's all I have to say.
I appreciate that. Council appreciates your perspective, but when you brought this issue up, actually, if you recall from the record, the borough had not even paid the asphalting vendor. So we'd ask a nonprofit to pay ahead when we ourselves had not even paid those invoices. So I appreciate the your everything that you brought to the table.
Calling a spade a spade. You appreciate me calling a spade a spade? Is that how we can word this?
No, I appreciate you safeguarding the public trust. Thank you.
It appears to me that the fire department saw that, there was an oversight and they wrote a check to do the right thing. And so I think we should accept that and move on.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Perry.
So in principle, I agree that the agreement should be honored. Given what you have written, and as you're pointing out, to the benefit of council of the borough of that $125,000 for CARES, and if we're considering turning this check back as a way to help the fire department, and I think it's actually a separate organization and not the actual volunteer fire department that's responsible for these monies. I see where you're going with this, and where I'm fairly torn about it, because I do agree an agreement is agreement. Given what you stated, you'll get an I'll support this.
Thank you, Ms. Perry. All right. I don't see any other hands raised by council. So
Mr. President, if I may, I just want to add in one thing. As a newly elected official, I think we've talked about the LGA courses, and one of the things that they teach us in the LGA courses is how important it is for the viability of fire departments and volunteer fire departments, how important the support of the local municipalities are for that. And I think given everything that you've said, as well as what Ms. Perry has said, that this is a step and a great showing of our community's dedication and support of its fire department.
And one final thing that I didn't say is where I was talking about the CARES money, that it isn't money, it isn't technically tax money.
All right. Thank you. So all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All that oppose?
No.
Thank you. Motion passes. Thank you. On to community announcements. The borough office will remain closed to the public. However, staff is available during normal business hours and can be reached via telephone or email. There is a drop box in the rear of the building for any written correspondence. Any changes to this action will be posted on the borough website and Savvy Citizen. The Crafton Library is open with COVID-19 safety limitations in place on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and Tuesday, Thursday from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Please visit their website for further details. Crafton's first annual celebration of lights benefiting the Crafton Ingram Food Bank begins on Saturday, December 12th and will run through January 3rd. This is a self-guided audio tour showcasing Crafton's brightest homes. On December 12th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., the Crafton Parks and Recreation Board will be accepting physical donations of new toys, monetary donations, and non-perishable food at Crafton Park. On Afton, enter from Duncan. Mr. Saba, could you speak to this wonderful event that the team's been putting together?
Yeah, so this is kind of building off the momentum from the Haunted Crafton. So it's going to be very similar, similar software. So it's actually a self-guided tour. So it's a great way for anybody in the borough, especially families, to essentially get in their cars and tour the wonderful, I believe there's going to be 12 homes that are participating within the tour itself. Also, it's a great way for folks that would like to donate towards the food bank. I know in October, we raised a good amount that really helped a lot of families in need. And also on the 12th, I believe the library is going to be participating as well. And Santa Claus will be present for the kids to say hello as they begin the tour.
Thank you, Mr. Sava, and thank you all the volunteers that have been working tirelessly. And thank you to the support of the administration. I know Mr. McKibben is looking forward to the Festival of Lights here. He's going to bring the grandkids down, right? All right. With that, I move to adjourn the meeting. Thank you.
Have a great Thanksgiving, everybody.
You too.
Yes. Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving.
Agree. Thank you.
Thanksgiving, thank you.
Thank you.